I love social media, but there are a lot of pitfalls. So while there are a lot of pitfalls, I do like social media. I think it's a great place for us to connect with a lot of people, and not just the people that are around us in our community, but being able to connect with people across the world. And I think that's a really cool thing. Now, as I say that, I also just shared a pitfall, because when we're talking about having these connections with people around the world, we might actually be foregoing those connections in our community. And I think that's something that has continued to decline lately, and it's kind of sad. You know, we have people that are right around us that we need to connect with, those that we have direct impact on, and we don't necessarily think to do that because we're so involved with social media and thinking that we're connecting with people, you know, in other countries. So that's one pitfall that has always kind of bothered me. And another pitfall of social media is privacy. I think that people share a lot on social media, and I think that maybe we share a little too much. Honestly, I'm extremely private about my life. I might share things, but I share very vague details. I don't get into the very details of the who and the what. I don't share my family names, my friends' names in terms of stories and details that I'm giving, because I think that that's personal and that's private. And even when I do share stories, I tend to give very vague references. I tend to stay back a little and give a brief overview as opposed to the whole step-by-step of what happened. I don't like sharing all of my private life on social media. And I think that's something that not everybody really considers. First, you have to consider the privacy of those that you might be sharing. So for instance, I don't think that it's my place to choose to share things about my family without their permission, especially things that might be hurtful or things that that are still ongoing. And those are the things that sometimes people overshare what others might not want to be told at all. So we need to consider that when we're going to share things about our lives, because our lives aren't in silos. We're connected to other people, and when we share our life with others on social media, then we're really sharing things that aren't just for us. They're not just our life. They're the lives of everybody that we're connected with. So in terms of this privacy pitfall, before you continue to go on social media and share things, you need to determine what are your boundaries. What boundaries are you going to put in place? What rules are you going to set for yourself of what you want to share? You know, do you want to share your address? Probably not. That's a safety issue. Do you want to share the actual city that you live in, or the town that you're in? Or do you want to just say maybe like a larger city that you're close by to? Do you want to just say the state that you live in, or nothing at all? Those are kinds of boundaries for you to think about in terms of having those rules set for yourself. Once you have established your boundaries, your rules for yourself, then it's a lot easier to go on social media and post things without regret later. And that's something that I think is extremely important for us to think about. And when you do post, be honest. You don't have to share everything, every little detail, but, you know, be real with your life. If you use a filter, say, hey, I'm using a filter. No shame in it. But, like, don't lie about the fact that you use a filter. I think that's an interesting thing, where if you use a filter on every picture you post of yourself, it's not just about you worrying what others think of you. It says a lot about what you think of yourself. So if you're struggling with that, you need to consider sitting down and really thinking about what you think of yourself and working on improving your idea of who you are. Because you are made by God. You are created by the creator of everything, and He intentionally made you who you are. So if you are concerned about how you look, and you're not really thinking good things about yourself, then I really suggest that you first recognize the great things about you. God created you to be who you are, and He loves you. As you are, He loves you so much. And if the God of the universe loves you, then I think we can find a few things about yourself that you can also love. Have a confidence of who you are and be comfortable in your skin. You know, honestly, it's easier to live the life you live than try to keep up appearances. Trying to keep up an appearance is so energy draining. I mean, emotionally, physically, and it keeps you from actually just being yourself and living in your own skin. It keeps you from having, more of a stress-free life, because appearances really are all about the stress. When you're working so hard and putting in so much effort to have a specific appearance, then you're actually just missing out on life in general. So let's shake the appearances, let's shake off the mask, and let's just live who we are. And you know what? I'm just gonna tell you right now, there are gonna be people who don't necessarily like you, and there are gonna be people who do. You have to live with the fact that you like yourself, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You'll find your people, you'll find your tribe, you'll find people who like you for who you are. It doesn't have to be everybody, so keep that in mind.